What's going on, Rob? How's it going, man?
Not much, man. I we were talking off camera. I'm enjoying this weather. We are getting some rain. Dude, it's fucking bananas out there. It snowed like 15 minutes away from my house in Southern California. Like, dude, it's been absolutely crazy. So, other than that, things have been good. And like you said, we off camera, we were talking about how this is producing weather.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can get in, lock yourself in a little bit, and start producing. I still need to do the producing part, but I have locked myself in, so I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time. How you doing, man? How's life in Tennessee out there?
It's good, about the same. It's raining and all that too, pretty cold. It's being like bipolar, whether it's like going from cold to rainy to hot. So I don't know what it wants to do.
Yeah, it's we've had a real winter here in Southern California, so it's probably the first time in probably since the late '90s, which I just dated myself again. But yeah, no, I'm loving it, man. But I'm loving this episode. I'm excited. We get to talk to a top 100 DJ, a really cool guy, man.
Yeah, and without further ado, guys, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podcast, Plastik Funk. How's it going, man?
Good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, man. Thanks for
Hello
taking
from
time.
Ibiza.
Yeah. Oh, is that where you're at right now? Is Ibiza?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I
From
didn't know
Ibiza.
that. I thought you were about because you're from Germany, right?
I'm half German, half Spanish. My father is Spanish, my mom is German. But I live in Ibiza now. I mean, we're still also based in Germany. I have a studio in Germany also, but yeah, I try to leave the bad weather as much as I can. And yeah, normally we have good weather in Ibiza, but right now it's quite bad. Yeah, it's raining a lot. It got pretty cold last week, but it's not too bad.
You're
It's
doing
getting better.
you're doing it right, man. I thought I had it good out here, man. I didn't realize you lived in Ibiza, man. You're living the dream out there. So do you have
It's a good home in Europe, yeah, for sure.
do you have like a full time residence out there for clubs? Is that kind of like that's your home base now, or just a
I mean,
preference?
we no, we choose Ibiza because of the island, not because of DJing and partying. I mean, the island is just beautiful, and you get a lot of musicians coming in here, not only in the summer season, also in the winter. So if you want to promote your music, you just have to be here for a week, and you have to know where to go. It is like Winter Music Conference for a month, you know. So you have every big artist you can imagine of is here. So this is good for business. But on the other side, we have the beautiful winter where you have a great community and it's just a beautiful island, you know. It's not much partying here in the winter, which is good. Like last summer, I was in clubs maybe like 3 or 4 times during the summer because I was just touring nonstop, you know.
Right. Yeah, no, you're racking up frequent flyer miles, man. Do you see like a lot of celebrities come through there? Do you kind of connect with those guys that come to the island and party, or you're out and
Oh
about?
yeah, yeah. We have this all the time. I mean, this is something normal here. It's funny. Like you go to one of the clubs to meet some of your boys, and in the VIP you see like Michael Jordan, Ariana, and all that. It's like no, seriously, it's funny. It's funny to see it, and it's getting ridiculous. How many stars and celebrities are coming on the island now? I mean, that airport, it's a quite small airport, has the most private jets landing on an airport in all Europe. You know, it's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, that's a vacation spot.
How long you been out there for? How long has that kind of been your home base?
4 years now. I mean, we're still based in Germany also, you know, I'm be going back and forth, but we're thinking of like doing this full time because the island is just beautiful.
That would be tough to leave. That would be tough to leave for sure.
Oh yeah.
So wait, but you also travel a lot more, right? Like Vietnam, you do a lot of work out there. Obviously in the States as well. What is your favorite venue to play? Like what is like the one spot where you get hyped to go to?
I don't have a favorite venue. I mean, for me, it's you know, I'm playing a lot in Asia, and Asia has a lot of these. We call it the super clubs. You know, with like always 4, 5, 6,000 people capacity, huge LEDs, pyro, dancers. Like it's a whole festival in a club, and you have this everywhere in Asia, which is amazing, and I love it. But for me, most important is to have a good crowd and a good sound system. You know, I played a couple parties where there were no cell phones allowed, and it was a shitty dark room but with a like amazing sound system with an amazing crowd. Sometimes this is 10 times better than just having all this show effects, you know.
Yeah, because they're living in the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Just about the music and about the good time, you know.
Well, okay, so like it's kind of like a throwback, right? And now you've been doing this for quite some time, so you've seen a lot
Yeah,
of change and evolution. I think your first track on Spotify dates back to what 2006, 2006,
yeah.
2006.
Actually, I think I released my first track in 2002 or 2003. I mean, I started early. I was already producing and DJing when I was 15, 16. So I started quite early. I did like all this, the typical stuff, you know, I did school parties and organized my own parties in my parents' home, almost got kicked out for that. And yeah, I started doing mixed CDs and give it out to clubs. And yeah, I started producing because, yeah, wanted to like become an artist, you know? And yeah, no, it's been a while now. I've been on the road for a long time.
Yeah, and circling back to you touring and all that, you just got off a U.S. tour, but you're coming back to the States in March, right?
Yeah, I'm super excited. We have a lot of shows confirmed now from 10th of March until the 26th or 27th of March. It's including Miami Music Week, where we have like 6 or 7 shows now. And we do Fort Lauderdale, Dallas, San Francisco, LA, New York. Um, yeah, I think that's about it. But all this in 14 days. So it's going to be
That's going to be insane.
a very busy 2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, so would you say then? Okay, so most of your producing probably happens right during the winter time, the first time of the year. Because I imagine, man, spring and summer, you're touching everywhere on the globe.
Um, Actually, I love to produce on the road. It took me a while to really get into this because I always needed that studio vibe to produce music and to finish tracks. Now, actually, I love to produce on long distance flights because like no one is calling me, no one is interrupting me. I'm just like really into it and just can focus on it 100%. You just have to be careful. Like if you bring too much gear, like sometimes you have like 3 cables and a keyboard and like a hard drive. Some flight attendants thought I'm building a bomb, you know? So
Yeah.
seriously, I had some flight attendants got really, really scared, you know? They thought like, okay, what the hell is he doing? No, but like to produce on tour is fun. I mean, I love to listen to radio somewhere around the world, in China, in Vietnam, or in Japan, and just yeah, get new ideas and just like get into on the computer and just start working at it. You know.
Okay. Yeah. Well, take us through that because I think like when we talk to a lot of artists, on this show and things like that, like how do you produce, right? How do the big DJs produce on the road? Like, what's your process like? Are you like, do you wake up? Do you like think about inspiration from the previous evening? Do you like take down like voice notes and things like that to kind of get into it in the hotel? Like, what does that process look like for you when you're producing?
Yeah, actually, my the voice notes on my iPhone is like packed with ideas. I will never show it to anyone because it sounds just ridiculous. But it's really sometimes you have this idea, especially for lead melodies, and you just record it, and then just I try to get a computer as fast as I can to just play it. I'm doing a lot of stuff with Ableton, which I use more for edits, bootlegs, and mixes.
All
But
right.
but I'm not producing my tracks on Ableton. Actually, I'm using Logic to produce tracks
Okay.
because for me, I never get the right sound quality on Ableton. I don't know. Maybe it's me because I know people who produce tracks on Ableton and it sounds amazing. When I produce a track on Ableton, for me, it never sounds right. Um, but that's maybe me. But to use Ableton to put ideas together or to do a quick edit, and sometimes out of an edit you have an idea for a track, is perfect because for me Ableton is just super fast.
I thought you were going to say that you use Ableton and then you switched to FL Studio to finish it. I was about to get so happy.
Nobody switches. Nobody switches from Ableton to
Oh,
FL.
come
It's the
on.
reciprocal of that. But no, you're right though. But you hit on point. Like whatever DAW you're working in as fast as possible, get the ideas down, get it exported, get it into. Because I use Logic too, and that's a great DAW as well. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So okay, so that's pretty cool. And then like how often would you say that you're producing on the road? Like, is that something it just whenever inspiration hits and you always kind of have something around, or do you like set off a block like, hey, I'm really gonna try to get something out and get it sent to the labels by this time date, like something that's time bound?
Yeah, I mean, there's times where you're just like out of ideas and you open the computer and you just see like, okay, it doesn't make any sense. You start working on a track and it sounds like the other 2 tracks you did before. And then for me, I just learned to stop it right there instead of like working on something I hate after I finish it,
Trying to force it.
Yeah, like to force myself, I really learned that it doesn't get me anywhere. It was the same like with my old management. They tried to force me to do radio music to to get a radio hit and to get like the right Spotify plays. And I started like recording a lot of vocals, and I forced myself to do radio music, which made me super unhappy. And I just understood that, okay, I'm doing music for the clubs and for the festivals. And if I have the right vocal, it just happens that you create a radio track, you know? But if I force myself to be creative in that kind of section, it gets me nowhere. And actually, once I understood that, I think that was like 4 years ago, that was the best time for me in my career, because everything really happened. You know, I just let it happen. And I don't know, I'm releasing a track a month at the moment, and on all the labels I really like to release that, which is a blessing, you know, which is amazing. And sometimes when the right vocal is on my table, I'm just like deciding to work in a little bit of a different direction, and most of the time I'm really happy with it.
So yeah, you're letting it happen organically. Like that's my
Yeah.
takeaway. Because well, you touched on it. I want to dive into this because we've had this discussion, Ty, on the show before, of like trying to force something into a radio hit, or being really conscientious of what you're making. Is it going to translate to Spotify? So how did like kind of getting that out of your head, how did that like help you produce like it, like from different genres, right? Like some people work in only one genre and they kind of handcuff themselves in that regard. For you, like, have you seen a change in the last few years from your creativity standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, I like actually that. I mean, like a couple years ago, everyone was thinking more in genres. At the moment, I feel like all this borders and boundaries of genres get like totally crashed. Everyone is crossing from tech house to bass house to electro, and I love it. I mean, I always try to work with new sounds and new stuff. I mean, I'm a house guy. I come from house music, but I love to do some big room if it still has my signature, you know? And I feel like once a year or every 2 years, I'm trying to define myself again, because I'm getting bored of the stuff I'm doing, and I try to bring it to another level, to 2.0, which is not easy. And I think it's every artist goes through this, especially now where like music is changing a lot. But in total, I think in the moment where I understood I'm just doing music for the dance floor, and I want, like, if I'm doing a track, I at least test it 2 or 3 times on a packed dance floor on the main time before I release it. I will never release a track again just without testing it. You
Okay,
know?
let me cut in right there really quick because again, I know Ty, we've talked about this. So you're saying that you test these tracks to see if they work live, if they translate that way on the dance floor before you release it.
Yeah,
So
100%.
having tracks working live is really important for you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it is like sometimes you finish something in the studio and you take it to the club, play it, and yeah, you just see in the first 20 seconds, like, no, it sounded great in the studio, but people don't get it. But 80% of the tracks where I think like in the studio, okay, this is 100% a banger. It works like I thought it's going to work. And then for me, it's maybe I do a little of fine tuning here and there, and then yeah, we release it or shop it and then release it.
Yeah, because like Rob said, we've had the discussion before and all that too, where people don't think about the live aspect of it, and then yeah, it kind of fails in the club. But the Spotify streams are good.
Yeah, well, you
Yeah.
have it from a DJ's perspective, right? I mean, a DJ's perspective is to make sure it works on the dance floor, and again, we've talked about it before. It's like we make dance music, we literally make dance music, and so
Yeah.
some things that we'll hear come out, it's like, well, it might do well on Spotify, but from a live aspect, it's just not going to translate. So no, I found that really interesting that that's something that you focus on prior to release.
Yeah, I mean, there were several tracks which were super successful like 3, 4 years ago. And I just saw like all of these tracks hit like easily a million to 5 million streams. And it was good. I mean, it looks good on your Spotify, but no one out there cares. You don't get booked for that. No one cares about 5 million streams. You can put it on your Instagram and think you're like an amazing artist, but no one cares about these numbers. It is like 2 or 3 playlists who get you to those numbers, you know? There's way more than that. You have to be played in the clubs. You have to have the residents who do bootlegs out of your tracks. And once this happens, this is where really your name gets a hype. And that's the moment where you get booked. So I always think it's funny how like people, I mean, of course, if you have high Spotify numbers and you have like a million or 2 million monthly listeners, it's easier to get clearings for publishing. It's easier to get remixes and all that stuff. But to get booked, you need the hype in the clubs, in the radio, and or in festivals. That's it. Everything else is just numbers.
That's gold. That's gold because it makes it real, right?
Yeah,
Like these
for sure.
these
Yeah.
numbers can be faked. They can be, you know, whatever the case is. But when you're having these tracks work live, that's like you said, that is how you get booked. That is the answer time. Because no, a lot of people, they've asked us in our discords, like, hey, how do I get shows? How do I get festivals? And they think, boom, just make a track, go pump it up on Spotify through the curated playlist that you can pay to be on, and people will be calling you. That is not how it works. And I really like the fact that you reaffirm that.
Yeah. It is, I mean, it is sad to see sometimes. I know a couple of artists who have like amazing streaming numbers. Like I'm talking about like 50, 60 million streams on a track. And the tracks are strong. I mean, they really have the potential to be played on radio, but these guys get booked then, and they're not ticket sellers, you know, because the branding is missing. The DJs are missing who play the songs, you know. And I think it's a whole package of a couple of puzzle pieces, you know.
For example, like Mal P and all that with his Drugs to Amsterdam song too, the live DJ support is really what helped it get to that number that it's at now. What's like over 10 million or something?
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for a club track. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, exactly. But you also hit on like branding, right? Like that's something I know you take very seriously is your brand and understanding that. Can you kind of walk us through a little bit of like some of the strategies that you've put together to kind of get you at where you're at today?
I mean, a lot of this stuff has to happen organically in the beginning. You have to have like real fans who support you. And the thing is, I mean, I came from the marketing area when after I finished high school, I studied and I was working in a marketing agency. So I always like focused on my artist side, but he was not a manager. He was an old friend of ours. He always told us like, okay, if you want to be a successful artist, doesn't matter if you're a guitar player, singer, or DJ, it is 50% music, 50% is business. And that 50% you have to take very serious with a structured plan. Some people just start this career and they start with an amazing logo and they do their own branded baseball hats and stuff like that. But they don't start at the beginning, which is like, who are you? You know, where you want to go? What is your identity? What is your music? And I think once you understand that this whole artist side is one thing and you should never lose that, you know, but the other side you have to take really, really serious and really have a structured career. No manager will help you with that. Of course, there's managers who can take care of your career, but you have to know who you are in this business and what kind of music you want to create. And out of this, you have to create a brand. And I was like, if you bring all this together, you can be a successful artist. I mean, someone I'm really looking up to, and I love this guy. I mean, I'm releasing a lot of music on his label. It's Don Diablo. He's just perfection. I mean, he would say he's not, but what he does with his Hexagonians, with Hexagon the label, with Don Diablo as a brand, plus his music and his music identity is on point. You know, you almost can't make it better. It's absolutely amazing. Plus to have real fans, it's like a whole family, you know?
No, yeah, dude, he has like a cult-like following.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And it's like, no, but you kind of build up and you've earned that respect. Let me ask you this. So when you were starting, I want to ask you about your name, how you got your name, how that like originated for you, if there's any meaning behind that. Like, take us behind the scenes on that.
Yeah, Plastik Funk, like until 7 years ago, we were a DJ team. And my partner and me, yeah, we were still good friends. He's my publisher now, which is funny. But no, he just left the dance scene because he had some health problems with his back, and he just couldn't tour anymore, and he didn't feel like being a DJ anymore. So he started being an A&R, and he works for a publishing company. Still amazing friend and partner of mine, but we had this party which was called Royal Funk. Which was quite famous in our hometown. And he was working at that label already at that time, which was called Plastik. And we always DJ with our two names. And we just put this together because we just thought like, okay, Plastik Funk, plastic with a K is the German plastic. It just sounds super cool. And we gave it to our graphic designer who created this first logo. We just loved it. And it was more like a funny like 6 o'clock in the morning thing, let's call it Plastik Funk, let's bring it together, and we never, it was there. People loved it, and people just like put it everywhere. People put like Plastik Funk tags on walls, and we were just like, okay, we should keep that name. It's good.
Yeah, I'd say it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Let's get into how did you get involved with Revealed and all that?
Actually, was a couple of years ago. Revealed was not even a label I thought of because it was only big room and like the typical EDM, which I never really did or never played or produced. But they changed the label a lot. I think that the team they have now is just absolutely incredible. Like one of the A&Rs, Ortzi, he was a DJ himself a long time ago. Amazing DJ, and I consider him as a really good friend. He really knows what he's doing, and his whole team. It's a young team. They really know. They want to take the whole label to the next level. I absolutely love it. And now they go from tech house to future house, from future house to techno, from techno to hardstyle. They do everything, but on a really high level. They're really picky to pick tracks. And it's interesting. I just sent them a couple tracks, and we were talking about like doing a EP for Asia, because I was playing so much in Asia, and in Asia I'm playing a bit more big room, I play a bit harder. So we tried to find that mix. And since that EP, we never stopped working together. We just like continued. We brought another track and another track. Sometimes he's sending me vocals, sometimes he sends me like projects young artists started, and we finish it and do it as a collab. It's becoming like, it's like working with a family. I love the team.
And you got a track with one of our buddies of the show, Sebastian Mateo, too.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, no, it's there's so much talent on that label because they really have a good feeling for who can make it, who can produce the right sound, or like even people who don't have the right sound 100%, they put them together with someone like me, so I can give my input, or with someone else, or maybe my track is like on 70%, but they have an idea of another artist who's doing similar sound, and put them together. It's really smart how they work. And I mean, Robert, like Hardwell, is a genius. He was mastering one of the tracks we did, the Deeper Love track. And I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that, but his mastering is incredible. This guy is absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah, he's an absolute savant. Even like he took some time off, but I feel like he was still doing things, obviously involved with the label. I like how Revealed's diversified, right? Their song catalog you were talking about, as far as if you like bass house, and they've got that, tech house, they've got that. Obviously, they still do some big room, and then big room techno, and so they have a really diverse catalog. And I feel like that label above the rest of them have become more of the full EDM spectrum, right? Like it's not just a very specific genre. Because you touched on it a few minutes ago. I thought it was interesting that everything's kind of getting boundaryless. Everything's getting kind of blurred between genres, and there's a lot less of just stay in this lane. You can only be in that lane. And I think Hardwell himself is, obviously, when he came back from Ultra last year, kind of proved that you can go into different lanes and still have a lot of success.
Yeah. No, I mean, what he did, that was a real comeback. If you come back with an album and with like, I don't know, like 20 new IDs with a new sound, and just blow everyone away like that, I was speechless. When I saw his set at Ultra, I was like, okay, this is how you do it.
It was insane to see it live, man, because I was there too.
Yeah, no, absolutely amazing. For sure. No, but this is how they brought Revealed to the next level. I mean, they started as a super successful big room EDM label, and just opened a lot of doors, and just, being a big label now, releasing a lot of different kinds of electronic dance music, which is great.
So because this is what I really wanted to talk to you about, as somebody who's a little bit on the older side myself, and you've been around for a little bit. So I feel like our conversation, we can go back a little bit here. So being that you did start early 2000s, you've seen the evolution. I mean, you've been through the entire evolution of it. Well, not the entire, but a vast majority of it through electronic dance music. Talk a little bit about the change. You've seen the golden era. You've seen like the post like big room era, and everyone was doing that when Mark Garrix blew onto the scene. I feel like you've stayed pretty true to yourself and your sounds. Talk a little bit about that, like all the different changes you've seen up until really this point today.
I mean, we had our times where we are just trying to follow the hype, and I started doing some some, I mean, there's good EDM out there, okay, but I did some really crappy EDM tracks where, like, today I think like, oh my god, why did I do that, you know? But during that time I thought like, okay, it's cool, and we like the hype and we try to follow it. And especially like you said, the golden era when EDM just went through the roof and everyone was doing EDM, and you saw people making so much money with it. Everyone tried to be on that boat, you know, and try to play the big venues and have that hype. And actually it was fun. It was great to see that. But what I like in dance music is that everything happens in waves, you know. It's the same with house music. House music was there. Was the beginning of everything, and out of this we had EDM, and then house music almost disappeared, and now it's back bigger than ever, you know, like with Defected and people like John Summit playing main stages with great music, you know. So I'm it's very interesting to see how like some genres disappear and they come back, and how like there's always that fight between dance music and hip hop, and sometimes it gets back together. You know, like David Guetta
Yeah.
brought hip hop and dance music together, and then it like gets split up again. It's interesting. It will happen like this all the time. You know, it's the same with that we call main stage techno. What Hardwell is doing now. I mean, actually, that's techno 2.0, what we already had like 2000, 2002, 2003, when I was like 15, 16 years old and going to raves, you know? So everything is coming back just in a little bit of a different style.
Yeah, no, for sure. If you had a chance to collab with anyone right now, I'm kind of getting off into some of the fan question section. Ty, I know you got a bunch, but if you had a chance to collab with somebody right now, somebody in the scene right now that would like match up with your style, or maybe someone on the opposite side of your style, who would it be? Who would you match up with?
I said that I had the question in a lot of interviews, and I always answer with the same answer because I really love this artist. I love Pharrell Williams as an artist. I love his creativity. I mean, he's is an artist all the way, from a drum player, rapper, singer. I would love to produce a song with him. I would love to see him work in a studio, and would love to do a track together. So
How about a singer? How about a singer? Because I know you've worked on. We were talking about you working on a vocal track last week, and how about a singer? If there's a singer out there you'd want to work with.
I would love to work with The Weeknd, 100%. Yeah, I saw a couple of live shows with The Weeknd. I was blown away. He's like, you know, like once every 10 years you see this artist who just is there and everyone loves him, and for a reason, because he's just a genius in what he does. And I think The Weeknd is one of these guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ty, you got some questions here. Let's start breaking into some of those. We got some fun ones. I think we got some fun ones. I know you asked a few on Instagram. So yeah, let's fire away.
What is your favorite drink or drink of choice when you're DJing? Or do you not even drink?
Actually, I'm not drinking that much at the moment. But if I drink, there's like I love gin and tonic, but I also love tequila. The problem with tequila is
There's a lot of problems with tequila, but
it gets me
yeah.
really hyped up, you know. So I try to stay away from it. But I mean, it can be a very funny night if I have tequila for sure.
Best advice for constant releases, like best advice to keep the releases coming.
I would not overthink uh, too much what you're doing. I mean, of course, you know, to stay true to yourself, try to stay to your sound. But some people overthink their track and their music so much that they never release a track. You know, I know people who have like 50 started projects and they never finish them because they think they're not good enough. I think sometimes it's just like finish it, play it in a club, and if it works, put it out, you know?
Just finish your work, boys and girls. Just
Yeah,
finish
don't overthink
it.
it.
Get it out. Don't be a
Yeah.
perfectionist. No, for sure. Okay, let me ask you this. Difference. What do you see the difference between like the tech house scene in say America and Europe, where you're from? Like, is there been like a noticeable shift in that for you?
Um, I would say like tech house in America feels like it's, you know, tech house in Europe you still consider as underground. Tech house in America for me is more like mainstream you hear on main stages, which I like because there's not so much hate. In Europe, for example, or like let's take Germany, the techno scene and underground scene hates the EDM and commercial scene. So as a commercial artist, you have no chance. There's no ways whatsoever to make it as like as Plastik Funk to play at Berghain or like in any other underground places. And I'm good friends with a lot of big underground guys because we grew up together, you know. But if I want to play an underground set, I mean, I can do it as Plastik Funk somewhere. I played some shows in Tulum or Mykonos in real 100% underground places, but most of the time I'm using an alias to play underground sets, you know.
Oh, that is interesting.
It is,
I did not
yeah,
know
no,
that.
I have a second project where I do a lot of underground stuff with, and even sometimes when I play a nighttime show, sometimes I use my underground alias to play the afters also because I love to play tech house and techno sometimes, you know. So yeah, that came from Europe because, for example, same thing here in Ibiza. If I want to play an underground club, like a straight underground tech house set or techno set, I can't really do it as Plastik Funk. They will never accept it. They will never book me or put me as on a flyer. Even my name is maybe 10 times bigger than anyone who was playing that party, you know, but they will never accept it.
Right. Oh, the techno folks, they are very, very particular.
Oh, yeah. Especially in Germany. They hate everything and everyone. You have to be in a circle and it has to be the right sound, the right kick, the right snare and hi-hat. And then you're part of the gang, you know?
I didn't know you had an alias. Is that something you can share with us? Or is that like underground, can't share it because we don't want people to know kind of thing?
The thing is, I call it, it's the techno scene. Not the whole techno scene is like that. Even there, you see like a lot of like commercial techno acts getting bigger and bigger. And techno got so big that it's not underground anymore. So let's say this hating gets a bit less, but still we got that underground scene where like even people like Charlotte Witt is commercial for them. And they're just really, it's like an inner circle. They just have their own way of living and listening to music and partying. They don't accept anything else. Everything what is commercial is bad. So yeah, I think me and my friends, we always making fun of it because I know these people for so many years and they do good music. I love the parties too, but sometimes they should be like, you know, they always try to promote that being open-minded and like accept everyone, but
Right.
shit, they don't.
Not that commercial stuff. Take that somewhere else. Nice. Okay, Ty, what you got more questions up there?
Yeah, well, you're talking about the underground scene and all that too, and that you know some people from an underground scene. Do you see anybody in particular that is coming up in the scene that you can see becoming mainstream?
Becoming mainstream. I mean, what I like in the U.S. is that the like more mainstream bass house artists and tech house artists, the sound is so close. Because some bass house tracks, even Mahler, or I love Wax Motive, I love his stuff, but he does a lot of tech house now, which is really good underground, you know. And he is like working together with underground people, where I would say like maybe John Summit or Dom Dollar is a bit more underground than the bass house guys, right? But there's no border, you know. They can cross it easily. That's not so easy in Europe, I would say. In Europe, it's a bit different. There was really like a difference between EDM, house, tech house. So like someone who really is like, I don't know, it's hard to say. There's a lot of talent out there at the moment, especially there's a lot of good music. I mean, Mo P for sure. I mean, he like delivered a follow-up, Give Me That Bounce, which is a bomb as well.
Love that track.
I think he gets, in the next 12 months, he will be really, really big, especially in US, but also I think in Europe.
Yeah, do you get a lot of demos sent to you on a daily basis from like underground tech house artists or up and comers that really like, whoa, that's pretty good quality stuff? Like, have you? You know what? Let me ask a more specific question. Have you ever hopped on a collab from an idea somebody just kind of randomly sent into you?
Yeah, I did for sure. I mean, the problem is I'm receiving around 100 promos a day, which is especially now where the days are so busy. I'm feeling bad, and I always try to follow up, but it's almost impossible. But like for example, there's a guy from China. His name is Hina, Hina, and we did that track on Revealed. It's called Funky Beats, and he sent me just like a minute 30 seconds, and I fucking loved it. I loved it. I told him right away. It's like, okay, that's not finished. You want to do a call up? We do it right away. Send me the stems. So we worked on it. We got it done in like 12 hours. It was done, mixed, mastered.
Wow.
And we sent it to Artsy and Revealed, and he signed it right away. So it was a good one. I loved it.
Man, that is light. I can't get anything done in 12 hours, man. Man, that is amazing.
Yeah, well, sometimes when the idea is there, and like the thing he started was just like, I mean, he used the vocal sample, but the beats, the kick, how he mixed that, it's a mix of tech house, bass house, some electro sounds in there. I love it. Like to have that mix, I think that's for me why I would say like this is the Plastik Funk signature. I try to combine the sounds. I want to have or make music which people can play on a main stage of Tomorrowland, but also can play in a 200 people club, dark club in New York City, And if when I find this mix, it makes me super happy.
Nice, nice. Do you have any like you kind of talked about festivals and clubs? Do you have like a club or even like a festival that you want to play? Like, man, I haven't done that one yet. I want to get in there. Or like, is there like a show that you've been wanting to do?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's two festivals in the United States. I would love to play Coachella, and I would love to play Burning Man. I just want to see it. I
Oh,
want to experience that. I mean, actually, there's a chance that I maybe can be part of a stage this year, but let's see.
wait, whoa, hold on. We're not going to let you off the hook that easily. Wait, part of a stage? Where at? What are we
But
talking about
like
here?
Burning Man has like several stages and promoters, and one of the promoters we worked with is maybe planning to do something. So if that's gonna happen, maybe I'm gonna play a set. I would love to just see it. I would love to see Burning
That
Man.
would be insane, especially for a house EDM artist to get in. That would be absolute. That'd be groundbreaking, man. That was
Yeah, but I love the mix they have there. I mean, they had like last year they have Diplo, they have Gordo. Gordo was Carnage, and I love what Gordo is doing right now, and I love how that like people accept what he's doing. He's playing amazing music and he's producing amazing music. So I think what he does right now, he really opens a lot of doors that people just work together from every genre.
there's another guy that I forgot transitioned. Yeah, Gordo. He just seems generally happier, right? Like
Oh
he
yeah.
just seems generally happier making doing the sets that he's doing. Like you kind of follow him on Instagram, you can see his stories, and yeah, I give him a lot of credit
Oh
for
yeah, I
making
love
that
his
switch.
sets. I love his sets. He's yeah. I mean, I loved him when he was Carnage, but now it seems like he really found his style of
Yeah, and
music.
he's playing those long sets too, 5, 7 hour sets, even longer.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's something you could do with house music, man, that you can't do with most genres.
I love it. It's hard to get me off the decks. If I really have a party where I enjoy it 100%, we had a show here in Bora Bora where we played 9 hours. I
God.
played 9 hours. Yeah.
Ty, you could not do the big room. Imagine trying to do that shit with big room, a fucking 9 hour big room set. You'd be dead in
Oh
2 hours.
yeah.
When you want to get a drink or go to the bathroom, you got to put on one of those longer songs that you know it's going to be on forever. Big Room's not that long.
No, that's difficult. Like all this 3 minute edits. You got to pee super fast. Yeah.
Dude, 3 minutes would be like a very long big room song. That's like you got like what a 30-second drop, get a 30-second break, boom, right back into it. It's very formulaic.
No, I mean I see that. Like when I play my more big room sets in Asia, like for example the festivals in Vietnam or China, it's like always an hour. After that hour, it's like my t-shirts are soaking wet because I'm up the booth, in front of the booth, left, right, and yeah. After that, I drink like 3, 4 bottles of water because I'm done. Like if I would do this for 2 hours, you can bring me to a hospital right away.
Yeah.
100%.
No, it's high energy for sure. It's high energy. Just yeah, it's hard to sustain for such a long period of time. But no, that's really cool. Ty, do we have any more questions that you got in from the gram?
Yeah, let's switch it up a little bit. What were you doing before DJing, your 9 to 5 job and all that?
I mean, I did several stuff. Like I was still in school when I started DJing, and when I got done with high school, I left to Hawaii for a couple months to just surf, and I played baseball. I played baseball professional in Germany.
What?
Yeah,
Here we go.
Dude, it's about fucking
yeah.
time. I I'm gonna tell you why we're gonna get into that. I've been waiting. How long have we been doing this show? Like 2 years, Ty. I've been waiting to talk baseball with somebody, anybody. The closest I got to was talking soccer with Kevu. That is about the closest in sports talk. I didn't know you played professional baseball.
Yeah,
Where
no, I
at?
played in Germany. I also played for the German national team. And for me, baseball was like, yeah, half of my life. I was playing and training like a lot. And at the same time, I was DJing. And you know how it is when you're DJing Fridays and Saturdays and you have a game on Sundays. It's not good for your hitting average for sure.
Yeah, I don't know that personally, but I can only imagine how difficult that would be. Like I said, my background's been in baseball. I've done the same thing. Kind of, I come from baseball into here, and then now that I'm old, I'm into coaching stuff, but I'm still doing EDM. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. So wait, did you go to college and play? Did you go to like university and play baseball there?
No, I mean we don't have sports connected to universities here in Germany or in Europe, not that much. But I already played for the first division in Germany, and then for the German national team. So we played like European Championships, World Championships, was the B division, and yeah, won a couple titles. They called it like the German golden generation because we were a lot of kids, like all 16, 17 years old. And I'm half Spanish, half German, and most of the kids were like half German, half Puerto Rican, or half Spanish as well. So we had a really good team during that time. The national team was strong. And it was a really good time. I loved it. And during that time, I already was DJing. Plus, after I finished high school, I was studying and working in a marketing agency, and I was getting too much. So, like when I was 22. I just made the decision to put everything on music, and I started my own company and my agency, and yeah, stopped everything else. With 22, I stopped playing baseball.
Okay. Do you follow like the German national? Because like, you have the World Baseball Classic now, where all the countries will play each other once every 3 years. So like, yeah, that's what's actually going on right now. Do you still keep up with German baseball, or is it you're probably just so busy with music?
Not at all. I like really. I was once I stopped. I mean, of course, we had a couple of like games where they brought all the players together from the year where we won the European Championships and stuff like that. But I didn't follow German baseball anymore. It was never like when you play it, it was fun, but to follow it was a bit boring. I'm still following the major league for sure. I mean,
Okay. Okay. Wait. What position did you play?
I played shortstop, pitcher, both positions. Because I was not so bad of a hitter, so I tried to do both. And I was just, I played in Japan last week, and in Japan I went with the whole team. We went to a betting cage again, and I love it. It was just like the best time ever. For 1 hour, it was just hitting balls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
getting it
I love it.
in. No, I like that. And you
You
still
know
keep
how
up with the big
happy
leagues? Oh, I cannot wait to tell like my wife and kids when I got off this phone. I'm like, after 2 years, I finally got to talk some ball on this show, man.
he's so happy right now.
Oh, dude, I'm turning red. I'm thrilled. Well, and you still keep up with Major League Baseball? You still kind of like you were saying you keep
Yeah,
up
I
with it?
try. I try. It's like every time I'm in the States, I try to see a game and just try to be there. I love it. It's like too bad I can't see more games because most of the time the season is during the summer, and the summer here is quite busy. But yeah, I always try to force my team that we go to some games when we're there.
I love it. I love it, man. All right, my day's made. I'm good. We can wrap it up right now. My day is fantastic. No, great interview. No, that's cool. So that is an exclusive. I'm not sure how many podcasts are going to know that about you.
Who would be the team that you root for?
For now, yeah, actually, I was always a big fan of the Atlanta Braves
Oh, let's
because
go. Yeah.
Okay.
I loved they always had really good pitchers, and I was like pitching like all the time, so I love the pitchers there because I mean, of course, I like the New York Yankees because they have a good team, they have the right money, but the Atlanta Braves always for me was like that kind of team which can make it to the World Series, but just through pitching and a good defense, and I love that.
We need you to come to Atlanta. I'm only a couple hours from there.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah, I would love to. I've never seen the stadium. I've never been.
All right. What else we got here, Ty? What else we got?
What would you want to talk about? What's going on in your world, maybe outside music?
Yeah, what are you working on?
Right now, I have a collab with Mr. Belton Weasel from Netherlands, from Spinning Records. We release it in March, actually next week. Damn, next week. That's coming out next week. It's a cover of Groove Tonight, from the old disco song. And then I have a collab with the Cat Dealers from Brazil in April, which is out on Smash the House. It's the Dimitri Vegas like Mike label, but it's a 100% house track. And I'm actually working on an EP, which is supposed to be out in May. EP with 4 tracks. The first time I'm releasing a EP with 4 tracks, but I have so much music ready, so I decided to put it all on the EP. It's a bass house EP, straight bass house. It's like for the DJs, for the clubs. I want to have everyone to have a Plastik Funk package of 4 bangers. And yeah, I finally have them together. So it looks good that we're going to release this one beginning of May. And yeah, I just finished a vocal future house track, which I think it's the strongest vocal I had in my hands for the last 2 years. So I'm about to finish that one, and that would be a revealed record for sure. So we will see that we release this like May or June, right before the summer season. That's what I have now.
You really are on that like once a month release track, like right that area.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
No, I love it. I love it. Like I love to show the fans that there's so much music. I mean, I have like at least wait, let me open this. I have like 15 finished tracks, and yeah, 15 are finished, and like more 6 or 7 projects started. So yeah, like with once a month, I'm not getting, I'm not even able to finish all this year. So I'm like, there's like a couple of bigger collabs I'm also working on, and yeah, I think I'll do a couple of EPs. I'm also like planning, and I put this on one of my Instagram stories to maybe do my own label, because I got an offer from another label to do my own label finally. I never wanted to do it, but now I got the offer to really have a good team, a good back office. So I'm just taking care of the music and signing the music, and give the, I feel responsible then to give the very best for the artist to release a track and promote it right. So just what I would like to have when I release a song with another label. So yeah, I will make a decision soon. But once I asked my fans if I should do my own label, I received 380 promos that night. So I
Oh
think that
man.
that was the best answer. And there was a lot of good music on it. So
I
yeah,
think that's a yes. I think that's a
it is.
yes from
I
a
think
lot of your
so. Yeah,
fans.
I think it's a yes.
I think it's good though to have different labels in the arena though, right? Like I think diversity within labels is important. It's just not good when you only have a handful that are kind of controlling everything. And so the fact that you're able to, if you decide to do this endeavor, I think it'd be a great thing, especially for the scene, right? Another new label ran by, a fantastic producer, DJ. Like
Thank
you
you.
have that perspective. Yeah, you have that perspective of what's going to work, and it's going to be some bangers off of
Yeah,
that.
I need to force myself to stay and really create this one sound for the label, which is I think the hardest part. So you don't go too much left and right to really create, like I tried to do with Plastik Funk, to have an identity of the label. I think that's the hardest part, to really have that sound, like Don Diablo did with Hexagon. Like when they started Hexagon the first year, it was banger after banger, and it was one sound. If I do a label, I want to do it like that. Yeah, and then I mean, summer is going to be crazy. Like, this is why my nights are so busy at the moment. This is why I had to move you guys also, because we've confirmed around 25 festivals for the summer already, plus a residency in Ibiza, one in Croatia, in Greece, in Spain. Like there are several, and yeah, and then the Asia tours. Yeah, it's going to be a crazy 2023 for sure.
No, for sure. And you're moving up. You're moving up.
Let's
So
hope
this year
so.
you played.
Let's knock on wood.
Well, no, you literally moved. You moved up 13 spots this year in the top 100. I gotta bring it up. But what? So I guess that leads me to my next question. Like, what's the end goal for you? You're working extraordinarily hard. You're putting in a ton of time on these. What's kind of like the end game for you to kind of achieve? Do you have like a goal like that, or is it just more like just grinding every day, working hard?
I mean, actually, I think it's really hard to answer that as an artist. Like, what's the ultimate aim you're aiming for? I think it's impossible to answer that. Of course, I want to make it to the next step for me would be to really play like solo headline shows, where I'm like involving more live artists here and there. I would like to bring more singers on tour, which what I'm doing in Miami Music Week. I'm going to bring Barbara Tucker, the legend, on stage to perform some songs with me. I bring 3 singers like Tim Morrison, who was singing the song "Dare Me" with Nervo. I bring them live on stage when I play, and I try to do this more and more also on festival stages. I'm doing this in Vietnam already. I did some collabs with Vietnamese pop artists, and we try to combine the Plastik Funk set with some live elements, which is a drummer with the singers who sing the songs I was producing, and try to bring it all together more as a show. I think the Chainsmokers do it in perfection, and I try to do it more on an international base.
And that's how you set yourself apart from everybody else too, and be different than just a normal DJ.
Yeah, exactly. You can always play like that dark nightclub, which is super fun. I love it and I need it. But once in a while, I think it's good to to show your music on a bigger stage, So I would love to bring it to that level that really people buy tickets to see that,
Oh, that's definitely going to happen, man. Especially here in the States.
Yeah, it's a long way. It's hard work, especially now. It's like our name is big in Asia, and we're doing really well in Europe. But now we're working on the United States. I want to get back into the market, and actually, the tour in March now is. I've really, when I saw the schedule, I was so happy to see that. It's like, oh man, this is a perfect schedule to see a bit of everything in the United States, to see the fans, see some good people, some good artists, and yeah, just have a good time with music.
It reminds me of another German artist who's doing some live elements in their DJ shows.
I
Steve
know what you're
W.
going to say.
Yeah, Steve W. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Steve W. He's a German artist as well, and he's done like a lot of big room, happy hardcore things.
Okay.
But he's really big into like the '90s punk rock scene and stuff.
Okay,
and,
cool.
he's a guy on rave culture who's starting to kind of move his way forward. We've had him on the show, but yeah, I love that. Okay, let me ask you this: do you connect with any like German artists? Because you got a lot of talent in that country.
Yeah, for sure. No, there's a lot of really, really interesting artists in Europe. But let me plug my phone in, otherwise my battery's gonna die.
Where do you see the future of music going, man? Like, like is there like a direction you see it headed into? Because we've talked about like, is NFTs going to be, is going to be prevalent in the music game? I'm not sure there's such an appetite for that. The way TikTok has influenced music. What are some of the things that you see it's going to be happening, just even on a broader scale of music, maybe not so much EDM?
Yeah, I don't know. You saw that video of David Guetta, how he created that Eminem vocal with the AI app.
Yes.
Yeah, AI, man.
Yeah, that's. I mean, in the beginning, I thought like that's quite scary. In the same time, like being a producer, I was like, damn, shit, I want to try that. you know. But I think like there will be always changes how you promote music. There will be always new tools and apps, from TikTok to, I don't know, fart, whatever you net and call the app, okay? But I think in the end of the day, it's music will always be something a human being has to create somehow to really touch people. So it just depends on how you create it, with a big computer, with a robot. But in the end of the day, there's a human being who creates it, and how you promote it will be different maybe here and there. But I think it will always stays the same. Just the way around the music, that's what changes maybe a little bit.
Well, you mentioned the AI and all that too. You think that's going to have an impact on the music industry and all that, seeing how AI can make songs and make people sound like other people?
Oh yeah,
You think
for
that's
sure.
going to cause problems coming in the future?
For sure. I mean, I think the music industry, it's the same like what happened when MP3s came up and CDs were like, just the CD market was like crashed overnight. I think music industry will do the same again, to kick their own ass, and then has to recreate everything again. What happened like 10 years ago.
Yeah. No more going to Splice for your vocals, boys. We got AI now.
Just tell them like the direction and what you want to do, and you have the tomorrow. But that means like we have a lot of shitty music coming to labels, so it will be not 100 promos; it will be like 500 promos a night.
Yeah. Well, if you own your own label, you're going to be seeing them. You're going to be right there on the front lines.
Last things we want to talk about before we wrap it up.
I think for me, it was somebody of your experience, right? You've been through. You've probably seen just about everything in the industry. Do you have any different types of advice or tips that you would give some of the younger artists, to like some pitfalls to stay away from, some of the traps we talked about, like trying to artificially pump up your Spotify numbers to get gigs? Are there some other things that you've seen in your time that says, hey, look, you guys got to stay away from this?
Yeah, the problem is I see a lot of young kids who try to copy the big guys. I mean, you see some people or some young kids DJing, and it looks like a copy of Hardwell, or a copy of Martin Garrix, or a copy of Don Diablo. Or I'm thinking like, it would be better if this boy is maybe a good DJ and just would be himself and create his own identity. It would be like so much better than just copying someone, because it will not get you anywhere. And at the same time, I think like there's some people who just start on the wrong point. You know what I said? Like they do their merch before like creating a brand. They sell music before they finished it. And the same thing is like I see a couple of young kids coming to festivals with 3 camera guys and one of their best friends tour manager and like another manager and 2 people carrying the headphone, where I'm like, dude, start DJing first, make like control the dance floor and start a career. Like you see some of the big guys who don't come even with like maybe 2 tour managers, maybe that's it. I have a tour manager with me because it's just getting crazy sometimes, but we try to keep the team a maximum of 2 or 3, because it's just fucking expensive. You don't have to show off with a team. You don't need that. You just have to play good music.
No, that's great. I think a lot of people try to flex for Instagram. I think that's the kind of the era we're in right now.
Which is okay. I mean, it's a bit of marketing here and there, and we all did it. We all try to, play it big sometimes, but as long as you're like in the club and play a good set, that's fine with me. I like be nice. I see the problem is there's like so many assholes out there. Sometimes it's just like making me tired. I'm walking away from bad people. That's my main thing at the moment. I'm tired of like negative and like angry people. Music scene can be so much fun if you have the right people around you, and I really try to do that, and I'm super happy with it. I'm really trying to surround myself with good people and try to follow good people, try to have like people to look up to like Don Diablo. People like this motivate me 100%, and I love that. That really gives me energy to reach the next level and another level.
Get rid of the negative energy, the energy vampires. Get rid of those people.
Oh yeah.
And be yourself. No, I like that. No, well, because man, we see like in Discords and things can be negative in public forums. You've seen it, Reddit forums, whatever. And yeah, if you can get rid of those energy vampires, you'll probably have a chance to be successful, because I feel like they just bring you down, right?
Oh yeah.
Like
It's a hard business sometimes, for sure.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me,
It was
guys.
a pleasure having you.
Good talk.
Yeah, we gotta hit in the cages next time you come stateside. I'll get out to a show. We'll hit in the cages before your show.
Oh
or
yeah.
after
We'd
your
love to
show.
do that. 100%.
Yeah, no, I know some good spots in this country. So next
That's
time
a
you're there,
deal.
we'll
That's a deal right there.
definitely meet up for that.
Well, everybody, that's it for another episode of Voices Underground. Once again, I want to give a big thank you to Plastik Funk for joining us. You could go and follow him at Plastik Funk on Instagram. And like always, my co-host, Robert Go, you could go and follow him on Instagram at Robert Go. And myself, you could go and follow at Young Ty. This was Voices Underground, guys. And until next time, peace.